We have connections.
Heck yeah. Hey, if you're watching, this will be clipped out too. My brother, Aniessays, does great work working on his writing career. First article ever published, got a freelancing job with Collider, who Kyle and I grew up with. Like, I ask him all the time, like, who's your boss? Is it Perry? Who are you talking to? And every time he goes, Al, I'm in a Slack with like 200 freelance writers. Like, I don't know. And I'm like, all right. But he released 2 articles, actually. This was not his first article, but he's gotten it's cool when somebody breaks away. He's written articles for, Collider is starting to get a little clickbaity. Mark, you're getting a little clickbaity these days, bud, but you're still, I think, a very reputable. Yeah, do you not agree?
No, I agree.
But I still think when it comes to the Hollywood Reporters of Varieties, I still think Collider's got that rep in there. I think as long as they keep guys like Frosty in there, Perry, all these people who have real good connections, they're always going to be really good. But it must just be that they're if they've got a Slack of 200 people, freelance writers, they're probably just, this article's good. It's going to get us some clicks. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, but sure. My brother, Aniessays, does great stuff on anime. And one of his articles, he wrote a review of Nope, which was great. But I wanted to talk about this on the episode. He has the 13 best anime movies for beginners from Spirited Away to Belle. So I'm just going to go down to here. We'll see which the article's great. It'll be linked in the description. Go read it if you're curious. But first, he talks about Spirited Away. We just reviewed that, rewatched it. I think that might be the best. I think there's a reason it's at the top of his article. I think that's the movie. Sure. If you really want to get somebody into anime movies, you know what I mean? Not the shows, but if you want to get somebody into anime movies, then I think Spirited Away is the quintessential correct choice. Do you concur? You've seen Spirited Away. Love it?
Yeah. Okay. I absolutely concur. It's for a beginner, it's a great summary of what makes this art form so beautiful.
Incredible.
I mean, it was one of my first anime movies. I'm sure you were the one that showed me, if I recall.
I did.
And for sure, I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah, I get it.
It's also it's got everything.
I kind of got it, but I get it now.
It's a love story. It's so funny. It's scary at times. It's beautiful. It's got it all. That's why I think it would be the best. Mm-hmm. I'm glad he put it top of the article. After that, he goes with Akira. For 1998, Akira. He talks about it being a little bit, he says it drips with style and has big ideas. And I would agree with that statement for sure. I think that's a good one. If you know somebody who's into like harder dramas, or action, dystopian movies who like that kind of sci-fi fantasy, I think that's where you go with Akira there. What are you having a heart attack? What's going on?
I don't know. I heard like a weird scream or glitch or something. I don't know what that was. That was so
Kyle flashback to the first time you watched Akira. You've seen Akira. Haven't you read some of it as well? You're a big fan of this one, I thought.
I don't recall seeing Akira, but I have read it. Nick actually was the one that lent me some of his issues, and I was able to get into that. I do need to pick it back up though, for sure.
Watch it.
But seeing for sure. Yeah. That's what I'm getting at. Like, now that he mentioned it in his article, I'm like, oh, I do need to watch Akira. So it's on my watch list.
Isn't Taika Waititi doing an Akira movie on Netflix? I thought he was the one tapped to do that.
I thought he got
somebody was tapped to do. Did he? Oh, bummer.
Yeah,
because for a while they really wanted. Peele, I think, was at first talked about it. They really wanted him, and he said, "No, I want to do my own stuff." But anyway, we'll talk about that another day. The next one is Your Name. Could not agree more. I've only cried in 4 movies in my life, and Your Name was number 3 on that list. It is beautiful. It's newer. It came out in 2016. It's a romance. It is heartbreaking. It's awesome. Your Name is a good one, I think, for common. If you're a little more common moviegoer, that's a great one to start with. Nick says, "I'll leave you with tears in your eyes," and it did. Then he goes to Ghost in the Shell. I think Ghost in the Shell, 100%. Right? Yep, 100%.
Okay.
If you think he talks about how this is cyberpunk, and that's what it is. If you like The Matrix, guess what they ripped off? Ghost in the Shell. If you like Inception, guess what they ripped off? Akira. You know what I mean? Like or Paprika is really what they ripped
Paprika.
off for Inception. But they
took inspiration from.
Yeah, Ghost in the Shell.
Don't want to say ripped off.
It's the Matrix. So much what you love from the Matrix came from this, and the Wachowskis will tell you that. They're like, no, we are anime all day. I think Ghost in the Shell is a great one. You've seen Ghost in the Shell. We watched it before we went to the remake. And it is amazing. And it really is. It's the Matrix done better. And if you can say that, it's like, oh my gosh, how? You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. Any other thought?
No, I mean, the way you said it really stands to reason. I think most audiences have seen Matrix and haven't seen Ghost in the Shell. So if they do give Ghost in the Shell a chance, they probably will say, oh, exactly what you were saying. Oh, it's a much better Matrix. And then when they realize the movie was before the Matrix, they would even be more surprised. But they would also be even more impressed as well. Ghost in the Shell, for some reason, this one I don't remember as well as, say, like Spirited Away. Maybe it just has been a few years, or maybe Spirited Away is just, that amazing on that high of a pedigree for me. But it is a very, very well done movie, and I was impressed by it. So I'm glad it's on the list.
Next, he goes with Perfect Blue. Did you end up watching that? We watched it for the club, didn't we? I mean, I did. Did you?
It was for a movie club. I still have it on my list, though.
Okay.
But now
I texted him and I said, Perfect Blue's tough. And his response to me was, if you like real dark content, I think this is a great spot. And I think the more I thought about it, I was thinking of some of our friends who I know if they were in high school who lean towards more of this real gritty dark content that isn't fantasy. It's real. This feels real. I think he makes a good point. I think there's people. It's about a pop star that people are obsessed with. And it follows paranoia and this deep down the your own psyche. It's a good one. It's a tough watch. There's some scenes that are tough, but it's really good. Next is A Silent Voice. You haven't seen that, have you?
I don't think
highly
I've heard
recommend.
Of this one, actually.
On Netflix right now. Highly recommend. Our buddy Zach would also agree with that. Our buddy Zach Summers would agree with that as well. Mm-hmm. It's another little love story. It's about a bully who comes back years later and ends up falling in love with the girl he bullied. And it's beautiful. It's heartbreaking. It's awesome. I watched it this summer for the first time. It's a very good one. After that is Paprika. Have you seen Paprika?
No, but I've heard a lot about it just because of the Inception comparisons.
I mean, the hallway scene in Inception where it spins around, that's from he literally just copied it and just changed it a little bit. Like that's the Paprika is that. Paprika is really good. It's about a new technology that is created. It's awesome. Here, let me bring up the thing Nick talks about. He says, this is the second Satoshi Kon movie. He created Perfect Blue as well that Nick has on his list. It has many similarities to Christopher Nolan's Inception as they both tackle the layers that come with dreams. However, while Nolan constructs a heist scenario, Kon explores how dreams would actually look on screen. And then he calls it mystifying editing blurs the line between real life and reality while pushing the boundaries of animation as a whole. I would agree with that to the nth degree. Paprika is amazing. If you liked Inception, there's no reason you shouldn't have already seen Paprika.
Well, sorry.
Next, you should. Next is a movie called Redline. Never heard of it. I have to put that on the list. I'll have to put that on the list. After that, he talks about a movie called Belle. Belle came out pretty recently, I believe, just last year. Yeah. I have not seen it. I have heard a lot about it. I've heard it's very good. Might need to check that out. The next one is go ahead.
Real quick. I'm just surprised that he put it on the list because it was so recent. But that must mean it's that good because, you two breathe anime. I've known you guys for a long time and you live and breathe this stuff, but his channel is all about this subject matter. So I trust his gut when he's saying it is that good to have it on this list.
He wrote in the article here, he says, it talks about how it's the most recent entry on the list that has come out. And he says, Bell is a brilliant representation of how we can use the internet to make connections with all kinds of people and how we can use those connections to solve issues in our real life and deal with our own trauma. I'm putting it on the list. I gotta. The next movie came in 2015. It's called The Boy and the Beast. I follow my brother on Letterbox. I saw he'd watch that, and I texted him. I was like, "Is this movie good? I want to try and find it." He's like, "It slaps." That's all I know. It's really good. Don't know what it's about. The picture looks awesome. Looks like a monkey katana ninja man. I don't even know what's going on, but I'm here for it. After that, he's got Grave of the Fireflies from 1988, a movie that a lot of people think is directed by our boy Hayao Miyazaki, but it is not. It was made at the same time by Studio Ghibli, by his friend. It is a heart-wrenching movie. It is war done. It's like up there with Saving Private Ryan for war movies. It's that good. It's elite. If it'll leave you in tears, it's heartbreaking. I like that one.
The
You
style of
never
this
seen it?
definitely no, but the style of this I can already see looks similar to Miyazaki, so I can see
Yeah, by
why
same
people would think
studio.
that.
They were making
Same
it at the
studio
exact
too?
same time. Yeah, I think if I remember
Gotcha,
correctly,
gotcha.
they wanted. I think it came out around when they were doing like Mononoke or something like that, one of his other movies, and they said he couldn't make it unless they made Grave of the Fireflies. So instead of him making Grave of the Fireflies, his buddy made that at the same time he made the movie he wanted to make. Um, After that, he has a movie called
Hmm.
Only Yesterday. I've never heard of. I know it's. I know people. Or I mean, I had heard of it. That's not true. I had heard of it. Um, it's by the guy who made Grave of the Fireflies, and it's a lot more lighthearted, is what Nick says. Heck yeah. And then after that is Wolf Children. Never heard of that.
Cute.
But I got movies put on the list. I think at the end of the day, and maybe he said it, maybe he didn't. I didn't fully get a chance to read the whole thing quite yet. I don't know what's going on with my phone right now. But I think truly, let's see. He says, if you enjoy this anime classic, then make sure to check out Miyazaki's other work like Princess Mononoke and Kiki's Delivery Service. I truly think you could start with any Miyazaki movie and you'll be good to go. Every Miyazaki movie could be on
Yeah.
this list, so I think you're good to go. I truly believe that. I think you could watch Princess Mononoke. You could watch Kiki's Delivery Service. You could watch Poco Ono, even about our pig pilot. You know what I mean? Like, you could
Mhm.
watch any of those movies, Howl's Moving Castle, and I think you're good to go. And I'm glad. I appreciate that he didn't just do that because I think a lot of people would. And I think he did some research, watched some other movies, wanted to check some out that he had heard were really good, and made a list that I think is worthy of diversity. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just, hey, here's Miyazaki, and not that Miyazaki movies are all the same. They're definitely not, but it brings some diversity in style, direction, other directors, and I think that's great. Any other thoughts on that?
No, I appreciate the diversity within it as well, and his explanation. Excuse me, his explanations were very very good. Check out his YouTube channel, Aniessays, if you want
Mm-hmm.
more
I'll
of the
link.
anime content, because he does have good videos. Even as a guy who doesn't follow it, I check out some of his videos on the occasion,
Wow.
and
You don't even
I'm
follow him?
always impressed, and I always like what I hear.
You don't even follow the guy? You don't even
I follow
subscribe?
the guy. I
Oh,
subscribe.
it sounded like you said you didn't.
I just don't. I just from time to time I'll pop in, watch a video,
Oh, and watch
because
the
it's stuff I
videos,
don't
but
know.
you
Yeah.
still subscribe though. Helping
Yeah,
your boy
punch
out.
that subscribe button
Better.
and punch our
Heck
subscribe
yeah.
button.